Hey guys, tightrope here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Mill Road. Playing today spawning in the north. We have VonIvan playing as OKW. Immediately locking into Overwatch. And from the south we have F3riG playing as Soviets with Armored Assault, Guard Motor, and Guard Rifle Combined Arms. In terms of rankings here, VonIvan ranks 6 at the moment with OKW and F3riG rank 2 with Soviets, so a very high ranking matchup this one. So early sandbags into the center for F3riG, and VonIvan arrives just in time to kind of make it uneconomical to finish those sandbags off. Oh, just a side note, I have got my window open and fan on, so if you hear a bit of background noise, it's just so hot here at the moment. There's no escaping it. Bunch of wire coming up now for F3riG, trying to deny these heavy cover positions. VonIvan meanwhile to get some wire off on the fuel, the classic position. Now he's got the Kubel coming in. The squad has come into the center and now getting outnumbered 2-on-1. He's got reinforcements coming through. Kuwagan driving off to the side, trying to get involved. Squad jumps back into the building. And this is really good for the Kubel. An angle like this, and the Sternpire is actually coming for the wraparound. Getting on top of the conscripts, the squad jumps out of the building. A lot of riflemen. A lot of rifles here for F3riG. It looks like he's coming off slightly ahead above VonIvan. I think VonIvan needed to try get into the heavy cover with the Sternpires for that fight. And the way that he's been moving his fault trees through the center of the map, I think it's been a little bit inefficient. Always have to wonder, you know, when you're playing against this strategy with conscripts, when are they going to pop those anti-tank grenades? Could it already be now, or could be much in the future, so it does make you hesitant. How, you know, when you can drive in and bully them, and when that's finally going to come to an end, and when you need to be very worried about the URA and teammates taking you out. Gotta calculate that risk, what level you want to take on. But VonIvan going for a Goliath now. He's gone for an extra squad of Volksgrenadiers. Got 4 on top of the Kuwagen. Hasn't gone for any Jaeger Lights, which is a little bit unusual when going for this commander. And going into the Goliath, an early Goliath. Meanwhile, got some mines coming up down the far edge, but interrupted. Cancel that. Interesting timing. Did he have a vision on those? They weren't shooting at him yet. Some repairs coming in now on the Kubel. The flamethrower up here. Making it very painful for VonIvan. That's a little bit of a late retreat. And you can see the crawler down here. That's VonIvan's crawler. Looks like he's going to try hide on that crater. It's very good, like a short drive forwards to wipe a squad. That's pretty much ideal for the Goliath. Either that or if you can drive into the retreat path, but that can be harder to execute. It looks like F3riG decided to go for Guard Rifle Combined Arms.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Kubel driving down onto the fuel. Quite often when you're up against a Kubel, people will plant a mine down on like this location to try and stop a Kubel from harassing the fuel, but because VonIvan actually hasn't harassed it to this point, it's never had to be like recaptured, so it hasn't really been that much of a reason for a combat engineer to be down here. It means there's less likely to be a mine. Popping into detection mode while he's doing this capping just in case. Got some guards coming up. And VonIvan losing this fight. And now has to be thinking, okay, Goliath time. Preparing for that. Maybe even trying to make sure he doesn't have too much to do on the rest of the map. So he can really focus on getting max efficiency from the Goliath. But he actually threw a grenade to force a retreat down here. I wasn't expecting that. And again, trying to cap in the center. Suffering quite a lot of manpower losses. Take a quick look at the KD, and it's actually VonIvan. In spite of having the Kuhwagen swinging the manpower in his favor, should be. He's actually behind, and with the 6-man conscripts. VonIvan there knocking out the crawler of VonIvan. So definitely a VonIvan off to a strong start. VonIvan leaving this in detection mode as well, so you can see those guards coming. They're actually quite far off, so he's safe to operate here with the Kubel for a little bit longer. And he does go for battle group, getting the mechanized upgraded now. And thanks to detection mode, he knows the guards are coming, so he knows to get out of there. VonIvan meanwhile has not got tier 3 down yet. He's got the DPs upgraded. Getting a bunch of sandbags coming online. Flame is leading the way. Kubel switching off to the side. Interesting, the squad that capped here didn't end up continuing to cap. Looks like they retreated to build the tech. And a big push now coming on to VonIvan's cutoff. Does usually feel like it's a bit harder to hold on to your cutoff from this northern spawn. Merging into the flamethrower unit. I think VonIvan needs to try throw a concussive grenade on the guards. Looks like VonIvan accidentally retreating both squads there. Sternpost getting out alive, but he doesn't dodge the guards' grenade. The guards also retreating though quite early in that fight. Oh boy. And VonIvan gets into the retreat path. He knocks out 2 units. Conscripts and combat engineers. Is that this? He did. He brought the Goliath off the side and caught them on retreat. Big plays from VonIvan there. And the Kuhwagen now shutting down this unit, trying to come out. So all that lead from VonIvan, all those KD efficiencies now erased with those squad losses. Now VonIvan looking dominant on the map. He's going to try to put down a fast tech truck to guard his cutoff. It's the incoming T70, but that's arriving now. Kuhwagen over here going to have to be very fast to react. No chance really by the time he disables detection. That's dead. Oh, VonIvan stops chasing. And the T70 misses. Oh, big misplays there from VonIvan. Just need to keep chasing. Even the machine gun on the T70 would have finished the job. And now he's hiding with the Kubel down this corner, but I think VonIvan could hear that the Kuhwagen hadn't continued driving up this direction, and ultimately he finds it and knocks it out. Rebuild on the conscripts for VonIvan, so not switching over to like massing guards. In spite of coming up against one Goliath, has not got the sweep yet on the combat engineers. I believe that does double the detection range of the Goliath. And get that sweeper equipped. This was one of the better counters. I remember back in the old days, VonIvan versus Helping Hands. Hands was playing US forces. You would go for double re-echelon with the sweepers, just to fight against the Goliaths, try to shut them down. Have to respect them, because those squad wipes are a big deal. But yeah, flak base up and running, guarding this cutoff. Pretty safe position there as well. Takes quite a lot of pushing to kill it all the way back here. this is a bit dangerous for VonIvan. Long retreat path. He actually still doesn't have any anti-tank to stop this from chasing, but we do actually have a Goliath there. f3riG doesn't chase at all. That could have been a squad wipe if he had been more diligent about it. Throw out a concussor grenade there, I think, to try win. T70 rotating across. Here we go. Could be money for VonIvan with the Goliath again, if he's paying attention. Here he goes. And there goes another squad for f3riG. They have to be more respectful of VonIvan's Goliath prowess. Doesn't seem like, well, you know, most players playing this commander, they don't bother with the Goliath, but they are actually very strong. It's just this is also extremely strong and it requires 0 brain power, so that's why we don't see the Goliath too often, but in the right hands, and VonIvan has experience with them as anyone. Very potent.
Unit ready.
Now he's pumping out the Goliath. Pretty close to a medium tank now, VonIvan as well. We saw f3riG actually go for another squad of guards. And this time, instead of rebuilding the conscripts and going into the Zis next, expecting he's going to be up against a tank shortly. If he was up against Ossia, he would need the Zis already, I would think, but it's a bit more expensive for that rush. Is that incendiary grenade? What? Huge whiff. Double guards up here now though. VonIvan's push running out of momentum. Still no sweeper for f3riG, opting for some more DPs on the fresh squad of guards. Goliath gotta find an opportunity, try creep its way in when nobody's listening. I believe if you like zoom in really far, like even in the fog, you can sometimes hear the Goliath's engine. But in practice, doing that during a match, especially at this high level, it's very hard to find that kind of time to just go hunting for a Goliath like that. Especially if there's, you know, a bunch of noise elsewhere on the map, a lot of fighting elsewhere, it can kind of muffle the engine. Make it very hard to hear. So you can't 100% rely on that, but you can, you know, maybe do it here or there if you really suspect the Goliath to be at an exact position. Machine gun for VonIvan. He's got the Panzer IV out. Still a little bit surprised he hasn't gone for a Raketin. But so far, f3riG has been very respectful with his T70, let's put it that way. Hasn't really been chasing in for the big wipes. Sometimes the positioning of the T70 as well, like angles, hasn't been that well positioned to go for a chase. We've got the guards there. In firing positions mode. 25% cooldown bonus. Very, very strong for free. And the range bonus, of course. Don't forget that. Incendiary grenade by VonIvan.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
He's not doing too much with the Panzer IV at the moment. Maybe waiting for the sweeping to come first. He's actually going to repair off this tiny bit of damage. Doesn't want maybe to potentially take a engine crit from just 118A is what I imagine he's thinking there. Uncertain about the thresholds. Cautious. T70 struggling here, all sorts of obstacles in the way. Panzer IV coming down again. Gotta be very careful, that building could just about be flattened by one Panzer IV shot, as you can see there. I think on the door side it might have been even more damaging. Oh, f3riG jumps back into the building. It's extremely low. He gets out. in time. Oh, but look at that. The AoE suppression catching both of those units, allowing the stern powers just to get to work. And we've got a close range Zis barrage. Stern powers have to get out of there. Double Zis now for VonIvan to try counter the fast medium of VonIvan. And combat engineers dead out here. I didn't see how that even happened. Wasn't the Goliath though, from what I could see. Maybe VonIvan a bit too focused up in the north. Trying to get in range for a Faust there, but VonIvan denied. Exchanging grenades here. So VonIvan comes out ahead. And now he's got the triple cap running. VonIvan, he's in a bit of trouble here. Going into recon mode. Looking for an opportunity, I think, to knock out VonIvan's Panzer IV. Goliath back down on that far VP again. If I was coming down to that VP now, I'll try and send the sweeper first. And in those cases, you want to, of course, use attack move. So just right click to cap with your engineers if you suspect the Goliath to be there, because once the engineers detect the Goliath, they'll start shooting at it from 20 range away instead of continuing to run forwards and having to rely on your own reactions to start shooting at them. Some small little details can make it, you know, big differences when it comes to micro. Now VonIvan has decided to go for an infantry support gun. Can be a little bit awkward when fighting against, you know, Soviets who start to dig in with all these support weapons. Like, how are you going to bleed them? It's so hard against the AAT gun sometimes. So he's opting for the ISG. Sometimes it kind of feels like you need 2 ISGs to really get the bleed going on Soviets, but that can be very hard to afford manpower wise. And then can also then be countered quite easily by a fast Katyusha. Probably not on the cards for VonIvan at this stage. Needs to get a tank going first, so there's some time. ETRs on the ground there. Some time for the double ISGs to do damage before Katyusha could counter them. Or VonIvan could even feel just so confident in his AAT gun positioning that he goes straight for the Katyusha anyway. VonIvan has put down the final tech truck, mechanized, and upgrading it with the repair pioneers. T-70 staying at a very safe range, maybe worried about the Panzer IV coming back in, so decides to pull back. There we go, ISG facing up nicely now. T-70 coming back in. And nothing has come to that southern VP for a very long time now. Full healthy again. He's not got too many kills, only 3 so far on the Panzer IV. Kind of the threat of the Panzer IV has been more impactful against VonIvan than what it's actually accomplishing right now. There's this barrage coming through onto that machine gun just as it's setting up. First shot pretty strong, second shot not so good. The third one, it's a lot of health damage. Still getting a bit of damage done as well. And it looks like VonIvan maybe trying to save for the KV. Is available now. Here we go, he starts production on it.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
The extra armor on the KV does help it out a lot against the OKW Panzer IV. Though, you know, since it got that changed extra health and received damage nerf, or removal of the received damage bonus, I haven't really enjoyed using the KV1 as much. Don't really like it that much anymore. Personally.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
That's, you know, it's alright if you just want to play a really steady game. Personally, I like, you know, going in for big plays and seeing what happens. Not playing those really long attrition style matches. It's not my favourite style. But I think VonIvan may be trying to save for a King Tiger next. Still has a long way to go and still doesn't have any supporting anti-tank for the Panzer IV, which is now doing some bold maneuvering, going in for a kill on the T-70. Ah, and he gets it as well. Able to drive past the double Zis without taking any damage. Where's the button by f3riG though? He's got the guards right there. What was that? Where was the button? KV1 chasing down, but the AT gun's under pressure from the Volkskrieger. They have to disengage. Gary Panzer IV, it's not very fast, but the KV slow and is missing a lot of shots as well. Ouch. VonIvan decides to disengage here. KV1 does have the same gun as the T-34, so quite bad penetration on the front. I think 80 pin max range. This barraging this machine gun. I guess that was firing something earlier. But does this barrage scatter? Horrible. Final shot decent, but VonIvan I think can maintain that position still. F3riG is charging ahead, looking for a decrew on this AT gun. This is where those 6-man weapon crews really come into their own though. Oh, if that was a 4-man crew, they've been decrewed. But yeah, VonIvan could be a little bit more confident going in that trade because he's got his bit 2 bonus. And the KV1, as I was saying, 80-ish penetration long range, so it's the 234 armor of the Panzer IV. 1 in 3 shots going to pin. Gives you quite a lot of time to react, but there we go. The KV1, that looked like a shot through the accuracy system, the way that the squad exploded there. So a bit of good fortune for f3riG. Squad wipe on the repairs. So VonIvan entirely reliant now on the mechanized truck. And he is not going to be able to rebuy them either, which could get in some trouble with the mines as it saves for this King Tiger. Now, I do think it would have been a good idea for VonIvan to try and creep to a different location with this Goliath at some stage, but we found the opportunity, and now we've got a T-34 joining in for f3riG, which I think is a good choice. You know, got the strong main fighting force, the double AT guns and the KV that can fight through the center. Now we've got the T-34 more mobile, can fight on the edges very effectively, by a lot of manpower bleed to VonIvan. So I think it's a good choice overall. We're now back up to full strength, coming to the bottom. Not too long now to the King Tiger. They're quite far behind on the victory points. But it does make me a little bit worried, VonIvan. No minesweeper. Double tanks. We did see a few mines from f3riG earlier, but has slowed down a lot when his map control has been rather poor over the last few minutes. Over the last like 10 minutes really, after all those squad wipes to the Goliaths. But he has stabilized as VonIvan went for this King Tiger stall. It's allowed f3riG to rebuild, and of course, you know, Soviets, such low manpower drain in the late game stage. Such cheap reinforced costs, very hard to bleed them. It always feels. These conscript builds and guards as well can merge into the guards with the conscripts. And VonIvan runs out with the machine gun, takes his Zis barrage, forced away again. Can make it challenging to fight against. What is this? Forcing away your support weapons constantly like that. So directly as well. Almost always going to get hit by one shell. Just need to have immunities for it. And, you know, the strafing run in this commander is not very good, really. So, you can feel safe, you know, feel happy about just spamming Zis barrage, spamming mines, Molotovs, grenades, knowing that you're not really missing out on too much here.
Supply sector under attack.
Here comes the big boy, the King Tiger, and I think F3riG might have heard the King Tiger rolling up in the fog. He starts backing away from this area, rotating the AT guns around. And he's got to be careful, he takes a button. No marked vehicle, of course. One of the disadvantages of this commander compared to guard motor. Button wearing off now as the Soviet tanks start to arrive. King Tiger in a bit of trouble though. Very low right off the rip. There's a F3's blitzing up here, trying to assist, but it's going to have its rear armor showing. T-34 is too close to go for a ram. So King Tiger able to get away there. And the F3 is going to try to go head to head. He's close to V3 when he gets his big reload bonus. But now the Panzer IV's in some trouble. The double AT guns are pushed around the corner. One more shot and the KV will get it, but he misses, well, bounces, and then the King Tiger misses in return. Fortunately, is trying to get a Faust off, but it's maybe going to cost them their life. Oh no! He turns around to try to deal with the Volksgrenadiers, which are on top of the AT gun. Now this squad could also go down for VonIvan. Not quite. But yeah, very slow repairs for VonIvan, of course, with only the mechanized truck available to him. So he comes out on top in that exchange. Able to kill the T-34, didn't lose anything himself, but he'll be slow building his way back into this. And can't really punish this KV-1 with a damaged engine because he doesn't have a Raketin. Both his tanks are just too low. Going for a chase. So F3riG able to hold on to the VPs while all this is happening. Oh wow, he's sitting up, hulling down here to be extra resilient. 20% received damage bonus. Kills so far from the ISG. It's a decent hit there. King Tiger nearly back to full. VonIvan still hurting for manpower though. These guards really starting to bite right across the map. If you don't have any obers, very hard to handle these guards. And VonIvan just loses a Volksgrenadier, not paying attention down the bottom. Did die quite fast, but good chunk of time there. Some friendly fire from the T-34 there, just knocked out half the conscript squad. Alright. MG suppressing the King Tiger, rolling down to the bottom. Going to be a bit harder for VonIvan now. After losing another squad. To contest the map and to force away the double anti-tank guns. AT guns set up in the center, and they're both quite high in bet now as well. They got that reload bonus. Too far of V3 with one of them as well. A bit of bleed though from the King Tiger. Just has that huge AoE on its gun that does make it effective against the Soviet squads. Now f3riG has a bunch of mines down. Going to punish any vehicle aggression from VonIvan. And VonIvan again trying to cap really deep. Could find himself in some trouble here. Some lucky hits from these guns. And there we go, pretty good hit. A bit of blocking from the tanks as well, slowing these squads on their retreat path. It's fit 2 now with the KV. Some big hits coming now from f3rig's tanks. It's a lot of manpower bleed for Von. He's had a good chunk of manpower for a while. Makes me wonder what he's going for next. I do still think he needs a sweeper, of course, but maybe he's thinking about going for one more tank. Speaking of, f3riG has managed to squeeze out yet another Panzer.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
T-34. VonIvan with the Panzer IV in the build as well. Tiger coming in from the side. The AAT guns lining up on him here, and VonIvan's dropped down the planes. But with the conscripts there potentially threatening an AT grenade, VonIvan decides to play it safe, not really all-inning at this stage. Doing a little bit of damage, then backing off. Quite a lot of health damage on all these units. He's going to force f3riG right off the central VP, but VonIvan doesn't actually have a unit to cap there at the moment. It's slow capitalizing on this. Instead going for the munis on the far edge. Good hit from the King Tiger there. Both the AT guns actually quite low in health all of a sudden, but here we go. T-34's coming in. Might see some ram action here. Might have been blocked by the flag. Well, I thought that was prime time for a ram. Could have maybe rammed with one, got round and blocked the KT's exit with the other, and then the AAT guns coming from this side. Could have been very potent. Looks like f3riG not willing to take that risk. VonIvan, meanwhile, still quite low health with this King Tiger. Leaving it on the front lines here. This Fit 1 can start to use that spearhead mode now if he wants. The squad up in the north struggling against the conscripts and the guards. Oh, the Goliath gets detected. VonIvan wasn't fast enough on the trigger this time. He did finally bring it off that far VP. But now he's having to back away with it. Knows that it's been detected, and maybe a tank could come down there and mop it up. And speaking of getting mopped up, the MG goes down up there. King Tiger's still very damaged, and VonIvan just so slow getting any repairs done. The AAT guns pushing through the center. They've got such high rate of fire now with that vet. Every shot landing and penetrating. And there goes the high vet Panzer IV for VonIvan. I've seen and experienced these kind of comebacks against Soviets just so many times. So hard to keep pinned down. Their manpower bleed just feels so low by comparison. Always feels like they've got massive comeback potential. And there we go, some great attack groundwork from f3riG through these bushes. Knocks out the other Panzer. The Volksreed is charging in, trying to knock out these AT guns, but no chance. Still too healthy. And yeah, a couple lapses in judgment from VonIvan, and all of a sudden he's way behind now after being ahead for the last 20, maybe even 25 minutes. Doesn't take much. Now the KV's going to come across here looking for that Goliath, expecting it to be here. VonIvan quite quick to react. Does detonate and does do, you know, pretty much the full 400 damage to the KV-1. KV-1's got 1000 health. About 40% to it there. And now a mortar for VonIvan. Of course, those mortar flares incredibly potent. And VonIvan just keeps running to these far edges with, I think, without much like thought or setup for it, really. King Tiger's finally healthy again. And this is why you quite often see me go for Jagdpanzers. Because, and it looks like VonIvan's doing the same, because, you know, you can actually get damage on the Soviet tanks and perhaps stay out of range of the ZIS if the T-34 is, you know, in front of the ZIS. So you can trade efficiently. And then if it does come down to a tank destroyer war, the Jagdpanzer does match up very well against the Su-85. So it's often much easier than trying to go for mass Panzer IVs, which I feel like the Panzer IVJ, it's a strong tank, but you know, at 14 pop cap, it feels a little bit expensive for what it does. And no, the Goliath gets spotted as it tries to roll into position, knocked out. Nothing going right for VonIvan at the moment, and he's got the flare up, spots the King Tiger. VonIvan notices the flare, but wants to stay in position to repair. He's got the spearhead mode active. Can he squeeze through this gap? Or is he stuck where he is here? Tiger only landing one shot there. The F3riG is doing their best. Exchanging some flames. ISG gets decrewed. And finally has the Jagdpanzer out. Can this turn things around for him? He needs it to desperately. Oh. Hey, there we go. Had to adjust his positioning there. He's got the spearhead mode on, so, you know, turret locked at a certain angle. Panzer coming in from the side now. Could be trouble for the T-34, and there we go. Just like that, VonIvan makes a crazy comeback. VonIvan overstaying his welcome with those two T-34s in the center, and the Jagdpanzer joining in just in the nick of time. Do we have the ZIS blasting away though? But still, you can see VonIvan actually way ahead on PopCap, even after two tank losses, and he's got T-34 in the rebuild. This is why I just... Playing against Soviets is my least favorite faction to fight against. It just always feels like it's an uphill struggle. You can never finish them off because of a little manpower. It seems like they seem to bleed. How resilient they are. Smoke out from VonIvan, I believe. Still very slow with the repairs. And VP situation has been swinging back to VonIvan rapidly. The ZIS rolling up, hoping to catch the Jagdpanzer coming through here, but the Jagdpanzer takes the long way round. Can land a couple of shots here. The Jagdpanzer itself, sturdy armor on the front, 230. So kind of similar to the Okidoki Panzer IV actually. Gonna bounce a lot of those KV-1 shots. But it also doesn't have the best penetration, so can struggle to pin. Looks like it's going to be another move for VonIvan through the center. That's the kill on the infantry support gun. Jagdpanzer missing a shot. Tiger a tiny bit out of range. And now under fire from the ZIS. I'm trying to back away now. Jagdpanzer just doesn't quite have the angle, and the King Tiger doesn't know what to do. ISG gets completely destroyed.
The sector is at risk.
VonIvan looking for a different angle now. Trying to avoid the double AT guns. Panzer getting back in the mix. Here comes the King Tiger. It's one shot in before backing away. F3riG is dead from VonIvan. A little bit of a lapse in control. Send a squad out to the far edge and loses it. Was that a fresh F3riG as well? Yeah, he produced a fifth one at some stage and lost it. Looks like almost straight away. I am surprised that he's still going for F3riG instead of Sternpyros. At the moment, his King Tiger constantly being out for repairs is, I feel, is really hurting him. He could just repair this up faster. He could be doing so much more damage with it. And at this stage, you know, the AAT gun's already full vet. Taking trades where your King Tiger takes damage but deals damage in return is... It can't get any worse, you know. The AT guns are already full vet, so it's not like you can feed them vet during those exchanges. And now trying to put a kill on this. I don't know how he has vision of that. Maybe going for some attack rounds, but all the shots were landing. VonIvan again capping out the far edge. I think he's saving for another big play with the sector assault. Just about there in terms of munitions. F3riG with a real lockdown in the center. Now VonIvan without the ISG to smoke or to barrage to break this kind of stuff up. Really struggling. With those Vet 3 guards, the Vet 3 conscripts. F3riG just don't have the answer anymore. It's all up to this King Tiger. It looks like VonIvan is going to go for another Panzer IV, so he's looking to get some kind of big play going, but... Oh no! Everything connecting there, and down goes the Jagdpanzer. Oh, VonIvan. So promising, and how quickly it went south again. F3riG, you know, with another T-34 in the build. Huge manpower surplus now. It's just every time VonIvan wants to try do anything, his F3riG have to get in close. He bleeds so much manpower. And then in return, he's maybe, you know, dropping a similar number of models away from conscripts, which only cost 18 to reinforce. It's tough. VonIvan dropping down the plains, trying to save his mechanized truck. But F3riG able to back away. And now the King Tiger lining up in front of AAT guns. T-34 coming in from the side. I am surprised he didn't go for a ram there. Maybe could have got a rear armor ram in. Can he get onto the rear armor though? But here comes the Panzer IV. Might be arriving, combining with the planes. Panzer IV trying to get onto the rear armor, but misses a crucial shot now. The F3riG is forcing back the AT guns. T-34 goes down. Engine crit on the KV-1. VonIvan quite low on VPs, but he's making a good go of it here. And there goes the KV-1, the AAT guns on the move. VonIvan, he's making it happen right here. He throws out the incendiary grenade, looking for a decrew. Both the AT guns hanging on by a thread. One of them decrewed. The other one looks like it's just out of flame range, and VonIvan hasn't disengaged spearhead mode, so he's not facing the turret the right direction. He lines the King Tiger up, but he misses. And the King Tiger goes down, but so does the T-34. Panzer IV doesn't back away, but luckily the Zis misses that shot. Got one more opportunity. And with that, it finishes the job. Might have even had two, because VonIvan started driving back in. VonIvan lost both F3riGs back here meanwhile. And he's just got nothing now. One squad of F3riG. The swings in that fight. My word. F3riG, I think, making a mistake not going for the early ram while he's still in range of the AAT guns. And then VonIvan able to fight back. But then, extended so far, just couldn't knock out both the AT guns in the end. Forgot to disengage spearhead mode, just A real calamitous finish. Ultimately not going the way of VonIvan. Well played by F3riG. And even if VonIvan had won there, you know, F3riG was still in a pretty good position to bounce back. Fresh T34 could have built another one. Probably could have still just controlled the VPs for the win anyway. Because VonIvan was just so low. So yeah, some brilliant Goliath play there from VonIvan, but wasn't enough in the end. I really do think it was a massive mistake going for that second Panzer IV instead of Volkskrieges. It just felt like he had no respect for increased repair speeds. Had his tanks back here waiting for repairs just so long every single time they took damage. And I think that was ultimately his undoing. But yeah, it's one of those matches, you know, it just feels so hard to stomp out F3riG. So hard to stomp out the Soviet conscript guard player with the double Zis. It's just, yeah, it's tough. You know, F3riG playing it very well. You know, his mortar flares giving him a lot of value as well. Well, anyway, guys, a wrap on that. If you like your game recast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.